Welcome to our weekly roundup of key business developments in Sri Lanka. I'm Nishani Figuera. Let's first take a look at the top stories for this week. Sri Lanka set to hold 9th presidential elections tomorrow. Third round of international bondholder talks underway. And economy grows 4.7% in the second quarter. In our main story this week, tomorrow Sri Lanka will hold its 9th presidential election, featuring a historic 38 candidates vying for the top position. The race is particularly intense among three key contenders: current President Ranil Wickremesinghe, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, and National People's Power candidate Anurakumara Dissanayake. As the elections draws near, the Elections Commission has reported over 4,700 complaints related to the electoral process, with multiple polls indicating that no candidate is likely to secure an outright majority. The significance of preferential votes is elevated, potentially leading to a complex electoral outcome. On Thursday, a crucial discussion between the Sri Lankan government and international sovereign bondholders took place. According to the Credit and Research Division at Barclays, these talks intend to address the information gap that market participants have faced since the last deal was reached in July. Meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe, speaking at an election rally, stated that following this meeting, Sri Lanka is expected to receive international support once the country's bankruptcy is fully resolved. The Sri Lankan economy grew 4.7% during the second quarter of 2024, expanding for the fourth consecutive quarter. The industrial sector recorded a significant 10.9% increase. Growth was driven by the exchange rate stability, easing interest rates, and a turnaround in manufacturing activities. Meanwhile, agriculture and services sectors grew 1.7% and 2.5% respectively. The economy has grown by 5% in the first half of 2024, with the IMF forecasting a full-year growth of 2% in the year. Further, Sri Lanka's central government debt fell to 99.8% of GDP by June this year, from the 105.5% in December 2023. Under the IMF program, Sri Lanka is expected to bring down its debt to GDP ratio to 95% by 2032. Despite the debt servicing standstill, Sri Lanka still continues to service its multilateral debt. In 2023, Sri Lanka's government and private borrowers serviced $2.58 billion in external debt owed. The Indian Revenue Department has stated that it has collected 1.2 trillion rupees in total tax revenue up to August this year, up nearly 30% from a year earlier. This surge in revenue comes from new tax policies and an improving overall economic situation. This year, the IRD targets to collect 2 trillion rupees in tax revenues. This week, President Ranil Wickremesinghe inaugurated a $27 million vehicle assembly plant in Kuliyapitiya, promoted by the Senok Group. As per the President's media division, the facility is now the largest vehicle assembly plant in South Asia. In our weekly tourism update, in the first 11 days of September, over 44,000 tourists arrived in the country, bringing the year-to-date total to over 1.4 million. Daily arrivals were 4,089 during the month, down from the 5,310 recorded in August. India continues to be the primary source market, followed by the United Kingdom and Germany. The all-share price index at the Colombo Stock Exchange recouped some losses this week. The market remains muted on uncertainty surrounding the presidential elections on Saturday. The index is now at a near 6-month low, with year-to-date returns having turned negative. LTL Holdings Limited suspended its 20 billion rupee initial public offering following a request by the Colombo Stock Exchange to provide further information on its 100-megawatt solar power Riddhi Dhanavi Limited project. Part of the IPO proceeds were to be invested in this project. At the Treasury bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on 91 and 182-day maturities rose for the 7th consecutive week. Bids amounting to 241 billion rupees were received, of which 161 billion were accepted. The Sri Lankan rupee depreciated against the dollar for the second consecutive week, with the central bank's indicative mid-spot rate ranging around 300 to 302 rupees. The central bank notes that the rupee has strengthened by 7.5% against the US dollar in 2024. And with that, we wind up for this week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel at the link below for regular updates on economic and business developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.